Interview etiquettes, right? Especially given that most of your interviews are going to happen online. What are the things that you should be doing? What are the things that you shouldn't be doing, right? Dress well, dress really well, a super important thing, right? It is okay to be overdressed. It is not really okay to be underdressed, right? Remember that. Naturally, if you are someone who really is not comfortable wearing a suit or a blazer, then go one layer lower and wear a proper shirt, full hand shirt, preferably with a tie and everything. I think tie is usually mandatory. The professors don't really demand you to have a tie or anything, but it is preferred, right? In case you can have a tie and a proper shirt that is not does not have patterns like this. It has to be either plain or simple stripes or simple dots, preferably plain. The more plain, it is better. It can be of different colors, like milder version of colors, like mild green, mild pink, mild orange, mild white, navy blue, sky blue, right? Not navy blue, sky blue, right? So the lighter shade of shirts are super important, right? First thing. Second thing, please have a very good internet connection and a backup in terms of at least a Wi-Fi hotspot, or a mobile hotspot, some form of backup connection ready to go, right? Remember that. Because even when we do a lot of mock interviews, people go back and forth because of network issues. Plan ahead of time. Maybe conduct a Zoom session with someone of your friend and make sure the network really is there, right? Remember that. Having your background to be very clean is also super important. You can't have an Almira door half ajar and like sitting in some place on the floor where your thighs are visible, and you can't do that. So have as much as possible, stick to a plain background and good lighting, right? Let me give you 1-2 examples. Maybe we'll show some photos here or there so that you can look at what will a good lighting look like and how to look decent on a camera, right? That is one thing. The other thing that I want to really emphasize is how do you look in the display, right? Your cameras usually, several people start off like this. So it is like looking from here, right? It is not here, but you are looking at me like this, right? Then I tell them, hey, move your lid more towards you, move your laptop lid or your camera more towards you so that it angles like this. Instead of being like this, it has to angle more towards you so that it will be more proper to look at you, right? Also remember, if there is a display, right, your face can't occupy like 70%, 80% of your display. Your display should have more other things and less than 70% of your face. What I mean by that, maybe you'll have to step 2 steps back and sit, right, and have a proper headphones and everything so that at least until this is seen, right? And there's at least this much space above your head. You don't have this much space above your head, like the camera is pointing at the everything else other than your head, which is when moving the camera more towards you, facing you exactly helps, right? But make sure you have that space, and so you cover at least until this and not only until this, so that your face and more is covered, so that you can be more articulate, more expressive, your hands are visible and everything, right? Have a good pair of headphones, have a good mic. Check if the mic quality is good or bad. Check if the camera is good. If you need an external camera, you can get decent cameras at 2K, 3K, right? It is definitely worth a good definitely worth investing your money in a good camera, because it can be a make or break scenario, right? Have good lighting. Any camera will work really well in good lighting, so make sure you have sufficient amount of lighting. Nowadays people even go to the extent of you spend $300, there's going to be ring light and everything available, which you can keep away from your laptop or ahead of your laptop, so that your face is actually illuminated really well, right? So lighting is super important. Camera is super important. Camera angle is super important. Mic is important. Testing all of this in a Zoom scenario is more important, because sometimes Zoom has an option of multiple input devices, multiple output devices. You got to make sure your output device you are expecting is exactly the output device that is checked on the Zoom setting or the WebEx setting or any other setting, right? So make sure you try it out, test it out. Have a plain background. Super helpful to have a plain background. Non-distracting, no quotes, no photos, nothing. Having a plain background is super helpful, right? These are some of the etiquettes that I wanted to discuss. Also, be there on time, like be ready. I know one of our ex-colleagues who had an interview where he was asked to wait for an indefinite amount of time. They did not tell him when is exactly his slot is happening, right? Suddenly they threw him into the meeting room, right? He was blasting music over his Bluetooth speakers and walking around in his room, and the panelist apparently looked at him doing that. No harm, but nevertheless, it is super helpful to be always prepared. If the process is not organized as efficiently as it should be, then you can suddenly be thrown into the room, and that might actually, like, you got to make an impression, right? Your good mornings, good afternoons, all of that will work, right? Be pleasant, polite. Make sure you will like looking at you. Maybe record in Zoom, right? Try set it up. Record a session with one of your friends, right? And then play back the recording. See, is this what I want to see? Is your key takeaway, right? So best wishes, guys. Cheers. All the best.